What's new on Grab It TV? Absolutely everything. We've got daily news shows, sports, weather, comedy, inspirational shows, fast cars, and a whole lot more. If you aren't watching Grab It TV, you're really missing out. It's free for you and free from censorship. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Week 12 in the National Football League and World of Matchups. My name is Dexter Reed, and I will be your host this week and every week, breaking down every single game in the National Football League from here to Super Bowl Sunday. We are coming to you live and direct from the Grab It television studios in sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. To my right, I have super producer and Raider fan extraordinaire, Mr. Spencer the Wiz. Spencer, say what's up to everybody.
What is going on, everybody?
All right, you there, we are here. Let's talk about what's happening in the National Football League because there's lots to go over. Let's do some quick hitters first. First things first, Henry Ruggs. We all know how sad everything is that's going on with the woman who died due to the DUI and death that occurred here in Las Vegas. Now, it looks like Henry Ruggs missed an alcohol test, and now he's been placed on permanent house arrest with tests coming pretty much daily, it sounds like. Look, I have a real problem with what's going on. I had a problem with this from day one. $150,000 bail is ridiculous. Okay, nobody can tell me that privilege is not real in the NFL and in life. If you're famous, you just get treated to a different set of rules. Now this guy is on house arrest. Henry Ruggs should be behind bars. This guy killed somebody and is obviously not even taking what the judge is throwing at him seriously until he's able to go to trial. Shame on you, American justice system. Shame on you, Henry Ruggs. This is sad all the way around for all parties involved, and it's an absolute travesty the way that this has been handled. Next, Taysom Hill. This guy has signed a bazillion-year contract. Again, 4 years. A hybrid type of contract. This is a newer contract for the National Football League, okay? $95 million up to $22.5 million guaranteed. Depending on what position they have Taysom Hill play will be the type of contract that he ends up getting. Incentive-laden contract. I don't understand why they paid this guy now. He's not even playing. He's not even really contributing. He's got a foot injury. It's just come out that he's been suffering with a concussion. But it's obvious that the Saints have mailed it in, and we'll talk about that in a second if you watched their performance last night. And they're thinking about their guy for the future, so they decide to pay this guy now. I think the Saints are swimming down the toilet bowl very quickly, and this doesn't make sense to me at all. If I was them, I would have saved that money and drafted a real quarterback coming out of the college ranks. Next, Courtland Sutton, another guy. 4-year deal, up to $60 million, $35 million guaranteed. Now, Courtland Sutton's a good player. Injured last year, has proven his worth this year while Jerry Jeudy was out. But if you noticed that the minute Jerry Jeudy got back on the field, Courtland Sutton has been an absolute ghost. He's done nothing, and he doesn't have a quarterback that can get him the ball. You give that guy that kind of a deal now? I get that you're trying to play for the future. Denver Broncos are another team that's circling the toilet bowl, but this is one that's also a real head-scratcher. You can get that same production from a player coming out of the college ranks or an average player in the NFL. It's not like this guy's lighting the world on fire. Spencer, if you can at some point, can you bring up Courtland Sutton's numbers? I just don't see how this guy's worth the money. I would have given that money to Jerry Jeudy. Next, Kareem Hunt. Been on the shelf for a couple weeks, designated to come back from the injured reserve. This is huge because when Hunt is there to spell Chubb, fresh legs are on the field. That's when you see the Cleveland Browns ground game really at their best. This is going to be something to monitor, especially because right now Cleveland is really hurt bad at the quarterback position, and they haven't been playing teams the way they want to play that dog pound football. This is huge for them getting Hunt back. Eyes on him. Next, Another player coming back from long-term IR, Logan Thomas of the Washington football team. Guy's been out for weeks. Now, we know Washington's not playing for anything, but this at least gives them that big body that they've been looking for all year. It helps out a guy like Heineke. It takes some of the pressure off McLaurin. Not like they're going to the Super Bowl or anything, but it's just something to note. Next, old man Joe Flacco and Mike White hit the COVID-19 list as if things could not get worse for the Jets. It has been bad. Now, Zach Williams is designated to return and will start this week versus Houston. COVID-19 is nothing to play with, folks. Get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated, whatever you want to do, but protect yourself. Just look at what's happened in the National Football League this year to all these players. You know somebody that's had it. I know somebody who's had it. I've had it. Ain't nothing to play with. Next. Adrian Peterson. Old man Adrian Peterson gets released. Wheelchair, cane, and all. Look, guy, it's over. It's done with. You've had a storied, amazing career, man. You want to do yourself a favor today and make yourself feel good about the running back position in the National Football League. Just go YouTube Adrian Peterson's best year in the NFL. The guy was an absolute monster. But you got to know when to hang it up. Your gold jacket's waiting for you in Canton. It's over, bro. Call it a career before you hurt yourself permanently. Eric Ebron, season-ending knee surgery. He wasn't much of a thing. Why? Because fan favorite and World of Matchups man crush Pat Freiermuth has taken over. Let this guy fade into obscurity. Eric Ebron may not even be a Steeler next year. Bye. Next. Giants, they fired the OC, Mr. Jason Garrett, a man everybody loves to hate. This guy basically was a fall guy. The truth of the matter is that somebody needs to go to New York with a flamethrower, and it might be me, and just burn the entire franchise down. But they threw him under the bus. Gettleman is the one that really needs to go. Joe Judge needs to go. They all need to go. Daniel Jones needs to go, but they got to start somewhere, so they get rid of this guy. Sad, but it is how it is. He's no stranger to being released. It's part of his legacy. Next. The Texans waived Philip Lindsay. Man, Philip Lindsay was a good back in the NFL. No, Spencer? I mean, just it seems like a couple years ago he was starting for the Broncos and making some noise. What happened?
I don't know. The guy just kind of flamed out. Maybe he's a bad locker room guy.
I don't know. Seemed like a pretty cool guy. I mean, he's not a big guy, but he's elusive, can catch. What happened? They just get rid of this guy. I heard Miami. Who picked him up? I think it was Miami that may have picked him up. Somebody picked Philip Lindsay up, and whoever it is, their running back room's going to be better for it. I think every now and then in the National Football League, some players who are good just kind of fall through the cracks and end up another place. I think that might be the situation here with Philip Lindsay. We wish you well from World of Matchups. Even though you were a Bronco, I never had any real issues with you. Next, Lamar Jackson finally returned to practice. Look, I can't stand the secretive nonsense that takes place in the National Football League. He's out with an illness. He's out with an illness every day. He's out with a non-COVID illness. Dude, what is this? Why is Lamar Jackson always sick? Is it me? Does Lamar Jackson have like sickle cell anemia? I mean, is it me, Spencer? The guy is always on the shelf with some mystery illness. They're quietly saying in the ranks that he may have had COVID again, but that would be the third time. My goodness.
They said it wasn't COVID. Maybe he's licking doorknobs or something.
Dude, what is this guy's problem, man? Dude, somebody get this guy a Zicam and some orange juice because he is always, always, always sick. And that kind of scares me.
He needs some milk.
My franchise quarterback should not be home with Kleenex and NyQuil like every other week. And it seems like that's the case with Lamar Jackson. Now, Saints cornerback Marshawn Lattimore. This guy pled guilty to a misdemeanor gun charge, okay, originating from a routine traffic stop in March. $1,000 fine. Really? Is it me or are these NFL players just unable to stay out of trouble? I mean, do you really need to be driving around with a gun? And if you have one and you have a concealed carry, you just tell the officer you've got one. What's the deal? I don't understand. It makes no sense to me at all.
It happens because there's no consequences for their actions. You got $1,000 fine, so what does he care?
Yeah.
And the next guy will think the same thing. I get pulled over, $1,000 fine. Who cares?
Melvin Gordon DUI. We can go on and on and on forever. You know what I mean? It's the truth. Josh Jacobs DUI. There is no accountability to be had in the NFL, and it's sad. And it really comes down to Roger Goodell. These guys are just pawns on the chessboard, and they want them out there to move and push the money through the hands of the commissioner and the rest of the league. And we were talking about this before we started filming. Privilege is real. It's real. If I have a concealed carry and I fail to say something to an officer and I get caught with that, I'm not getting a $1,000 fine. You know what I mean? I'm getting to eat octopus behind closed doors. It's ridiculous, but this is the state of the National Football League that we are living in today. Now, let's talk about what happened last night in the National Football League. We had 3 games. 2 of them were, one of them was just boring. All right, let's start with the Lions. I told everybody on my quick hitter that I thought the Lions would cover that 3 or potentially win the game. They played pretty well early on, but the bottom line is that they lost this game last night because of coaching. Dan Campbell is a great rah-rah guy. He's a tough guy. He's an emotional dude. He's the guy that you want as your rah-rah coach. But if you don't have the X's and O's when it comes time to win the game, you're going to lose the game. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. How, as a National Football League coach, do you know that you cannot call back-to-back timeouts? How do you not know that?
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
You get hit with the delay of game penalty at the worst possible time of the game. You give the Bears 5 yards, and the Bears go and they do what they're supposed to do. They win the game. Now, I thought that this could be a tricky spot because everyone's talking about Matt Nagy potentially being fired. We keep hearing that this is going to happen. Folks, the Chicago Bears owners and brass have not fired a coach in season in over 100 years. Guys, it ain't happening. My friend Eric Waltermeyer hit me up. They're going to fire Nagy tomorrow. Eric, I'm still waiting. It's not happening. It's going to happen the minute the season's over, though. But albeit, huge win for the Bears. They stopped the losing streak. The Lions, I don't see a game on the schedule that the Lions are going to win now. I don't. We talked about it last week. That was the game they had to win. 15-1. Write it. 16-1. Write it down. Next, let's talk about the Raiders. Raiders are getting 7.5 from Dallas. I told everybody that was a slap in the face. You must be kidding me. No Amari Cooper. You know they weren't pushing CeeDee Lamb out there, man. Come on. He got crushed on Sunday. You thought he was really going to play last night. They're down there. 2 best offensive weapons on the wideout position, and Zeke has got a sprained knee, and you're giving 7.5 to the bipolar Vegas Raiders who, when they look good, they look like the 85 Bears. And when they look bad, they look like the 21 Lions. Well, I took a shot last night, and I said they're going to play well. I love that 7.5. I'll take that all day, every day. And they won the game. Look, Dallas is in trouble right now. A couple weeks ago, I was saying Dallas was the best team in the league. After back-to-back losses to Kansas City and Vegas, the AFC West kind of ran through them here. It's time to take a look at them. I'd be pushing the panic button. McCarthy is not a good coach. I'll be the first one to tell you. That's the only thing that's keeping me from really liking Dallas going all the way. And this loss last night has got the NFL wide open. Your thoughts on last night's win from your team here, Spencer? What do you think?
I'm annoyed. It's just like, okay, you get this marquee win against the Cowboys, but you can't beat the Giants and you can't beat the Bears. Those are 2 of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
And it starts with Derek Carr. We talked about it before the show. Just, it's like, okay, sometimes this guy looks like Joe Montana, other times Ryan Leaf. Yeah. He's just so inconsistent. It's confusing. It's frustrating as a fan. I've been talking about it all year. You know, they're really the kind of just the 8-9 team that everybody knows they are. And they just do this every once in a while. It's like they want to build up your hope just so they can tear it down again.
Yeah, they are who they are, man. It's like even Raider fans know it to be true. This is who the Raiders are. They're a 500 ball club that plays down to their competition and beats good teams when they shouldn't. That's who they are.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
And people wanting to put Carr back in the MVP conversation, you got to be kidding me. Just go look at the Kansas City game and go look at the Giants game. No real MVP plays that bad. Like we said, it's Ryan Leaf, it's Matt Flynn, or it's Joe Montana, or Dan Marino. There is no in-between. It's just that simple. I like Carr, but the Vegas Raiders are going to be who they are. Thank you, Lucky Stars. They are this good despite all the controversy this team has gone through this year. Huge win for them. Dallas, you're in trouble. Get it together, or it's going to be a nice little spiral down the toilet bowl here. And then finally, last night's closing game while everybody's on the couch, all tryptophaned out. This game was over from the jump. Like a dummy, I took the 6 points in New Orleans. I thought they'd play for some pride and thought they'd play a little bit better. I thought you might actually see Taysom Hill here. None of those things happened. Let me tell you something, folks. No team bounces back better like the Bills. When the Bills take a loss they shouldn't take, they stomp the team they play the following week. And right now, they look like the best team in football. Josh Allen is on a mission. I'm a little worried about them because they don't run the ball very well, but they've got some ancillary players that are making some noise. This guy Dawson Knox is a TE1, man. Watch out for this guy. He gives them another player that can score when they try to double Stephon. You know Diggs is just surgical. Diggs absolutely just roasted all those cornerbacks last night. The Bills are in good shape. I think that they got a tough schedule down the stretch because they play the Patriots twice still, but they did what they had to do. They beat up the Saints in their building last night. Like I said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. World of Matchups will take that all day, every day, and roll. Next. Folks, we're everywhere on social media. Okay, don't play yourself not knowing where we're at. We're all over. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. I mean, if there's a social media outlet, World of Matchups is there. You know, we have a YouTube page. You can like and subscribe. Go to grabit.com, sign up, and all our content will be right there. Every time we drop content, it'll come right to your inbox letting you know. Find us out there. Get in touch with us. Stay close because the super information highway that is World of Matchups is not to be fallen on deaf ears. Folks, we're out there. Connect with us so we can continue to connect with you. Now, it's the time of the show that we love the most, or one of the times of the show that we love the most, where we are going to take the time to roast the refs and all their nonsense that has happened from Week 11 in the National Football League. Here we go.
No, God! No, God, please,
Pass is incomplete. No flag.
All right, folks. It's the time of the show where the blind lead the blind on the on the National Football League tundra. Every week, horrible calls, and we got plenty more for you this week on Roast the Ref, sponsored by Heroes Heating and Air, Medford, Oregon. Call them up. Hit them up online at heroesheatingandair.com for all your service needs. We're going to start with this BS taunting penalty in Kansas City that took place Sunday night versus the Dallas Cowboys. Clyde Edwards-Helaire takes the pitch from 15, Mr. Patrick Mahomes, points at the defender, gets hit with a taunting penalty, 15 yards. They accepted the penalty. I think this was the one where they accepted the penalty and made the extra point like a 40-yard kick, which to me just makes no sense. Butker drills it anyway. But pointing at somebody is taunting in the National Football League? I don't get this. Like, I could see if he punched the guy in the nuts. This is taunting? You know how many times guys have taunted when they score? I'm going to show you folks at the end of our segment here what should be called for taunting. This is ridiculous. This is a no-fun league. These guys work hard to score. Let them score and have some fun. They're entertainers. Let them entertain us. Ridiculous. Now, same game. You want to talk about egregious call? This is the face of the league lying on the field. Mr. Patrick Mahomes, look at this. Where's the flag? Right in front of the ref. Ponytail ref. Female ref. Honey, where's that flag? 50 touchdowns in a season, 5,000 yards, MVP, Super Bowl MVP, face of the league, on the turf for seconds after and gets spearheaded. There's no flag there, but you'll throw a flag for pointing a finger. Ridiculous. Patrick Mahomes could have been really, really hurt on that play. Come on. Get this right. You were standing right there. It was clear as day. And this might be the worst segment that we've ever had on Roasting the Ref where a flag was not called. Run this Najee Harris clip from Sunday. First the Chargers. Takes the pitch out of the backfield. Oh, my
That's a
goodness.
nice tackling tonight.
Just keep running this.
Campbell makes the stop there.
How is
Let's go to
there
the show.
no flag? That is a targeting on Najee Harris. You can tell the guy's really hurt. He catches the ball out of the backfield.
Harris.
Where's
That's
that
a nice
flag?
tackling.
Oh, my goodness.
Four-man rush.
Where is that
Harris.
flag? That's unbelievable.
That's a nice tackling
You
tonight.
could really hurt somebody.
Campbell makes the stop
Helmet to
there.
helmet hits not
Let's go
getting
to
called.
Michelle.
But meanwhile, if you blow on a quarterback, 15 yards and a first down, this is getting out of hand. You want to talk about protecting our quarterbacks? What about the rest of our skill players? If Najee Harris wasn't so tough, he'd be out for the year. That is so awful. Look at this one, Spencer. Roll this. You want to talk to me about nothing making sense? CEH and this guy punches the same guy in the stomach. This is the same penalty, the same yards. Okay? The same yards for both plays. How is sucker punching someone in the stomach the same penalty? The NFL has to go back to the drawing board and get this right. You want to see what taunting is? I will show you what taunting is. Roll tape, Spencer. This is what taunting is. Lamar Jackson flipping into the end zone on national television, and there is no flag. That, my friends, is taunting. No flag. It is ridiculous. The NFL doesn't even know what taunting is. Sometimes I don't think the NFL knows what a first down is. It's getting out of control. The refs are averaging $200,000 a year in pay. You have to get this stuff right. This is absolutely ridiculous. You could flip in the end zone and get no flag, but point at somebody and be hit with a 15-yard penalty. Absolutely egregious. I am thankful this Thanksgiving season for a lot of things. The one thing I am not thankful for is the job that these NFL refs do. And that is all I'm going to say about that.
If you think this is the ass-kissingest son you ever saw, give me a hell yeah. What?
All right, folks, we're back after a just awful roasting the ref segment. Man, some of those calls are unbelievable to me. Well, it's mailbag time. We're going to talk about all the stuff that you guys want to talk about, all right? Coming in from Long Island, New York, we're going to talk about Dan O'Brien asking, are the Bills going to miss the playoffs? Before last night, I say maybe, but after a convincing beatdown last night in New Orleans, I think that they'll still make the playoffs, and I think they're going to go far in the playoffs. They're a little Jekyll and Hyde. You know, there's a lot of Jekyll and Hyde to these Bills. The one thing that worries me about them is their ability to not really run the ball really, really well. But if you have to go to Buffalo and play in those inclement temperatures, you're going to be in big trouble. Can we pull up the Bills' schedule, Spencer? Let's take a look and see what they have remaining. I know that last night was a beatdown. What are we looking at here? December 6th, they play the Patriots. That's a tough game. They could lose that game. Tampa's also a tough game. They should beat Carolina. They play the Patriots again. They should beat the Falcons. They should beat the Jets. So 3 out of 5 games are hard, but I fully expect them to take at least 3 out of those 5. And I think they'll host a playoff game in their building. They're a tough team. If they lost last night, I'd be a little wary of them moving forward, but I think the Buffalo Bills are going to be all right. If I'm a Buffalo fan, I don't want to get too high, though, because they are beatable. If you can run the ball on the Bills, you can beat the Bills. Next, Rob the Raider, my guy, wants to know, why is Detroit getting a free pass on firing Jim Caldwell? Okay, Jim Caldwell was 36-28 as coach of the Lions over his tenure there. Matt Patricia was 13-29, and Dan Campbell is now 0-10-1. I don't know why everyone is getting a free pass there. That was one of the worst decisions that they've ever made. Now, I kind of feel like over his time, maybe he didn't get as close to the mountaintop as they wanted, and they got gassed by the whole Patriot way, and it was a mistake. I mean, where is Matt Patricia? Matt Patricia hasn't been heard from since he left Detroit. No one knows where this guy is. I think he went back to the Patriots and is just like, I don't know, like washing towels or something. Who knows? But they shouldn't get a free pass because it's one of the worst mistakes that they ever made, getting rid of Jim Caldwell. Nobody can convince me on God's green earth that he wouldn't be doing a better job than the 0-10-1 job that Dan Campbell has done. And we know Matt Patricia absolutely ruined the Lions. Sometimes it's important to remember the grass on the other side of the fence is not greener than what you've got. Sometimes you just need to water, prune, and seed your own side. And I think if they would have kept Caldwell, they would have been in a better position than they are now. Who's to say? It's the Lions. It's a factory of sadness, but the hypocrisy is definitely ripe and it needs to be pointed out. Let's talk about my friend, top fan, Jesse Bourne from Las Vegas. He wants to discuss where a former first-round quarterback is. So for me, it was easy because I know Spencer is a Raider fan, and this just, hits too close to home. Let's talk about Jamarcus Russell, okay? For those of you that don't know Jamarcus Russell was a former American football quarterback that played for the Raiders. He was a first-round pick, and this guy did absolutely nothing with his career, okay? He would get tapes from the quarterback coaches and be asked if he saw the tapes and be like, yeah, I saw the tapes. Meanwhile, the tapes were blank. He's 270 pounds. He did have an arm, but he really was just a waste of a first-round pick. The Raiders probably are regretting no other pick in the last 20 years bigger than Jamarcus Russell. Well, what is Jamarcus Russell doing now? Jamarcus Russell has made his way back to his high school alma mater in Alabama. He's a quarterback coach, okay, of Williamson High School, and he still holds the Alabama high school record for passing yards. He's got over 11,000 passing yards at that high school. He is still worth around $4 million. That is absolutely disgusting. A guy that did absolutely nothing with his NFL career almost a decade ago, more than that, is still worth $4 million coaching high school football. What am I doing wrong, Spencer?
Look at this dude in the picture, too. That's his rookie season. Look at this dude.
Bruh, look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No.
My goodness, what a waste of NFL talent.
Could have been Cam Newton before Cam Newton.
Yeah, it just makes no sense to me. But what makes no sense to me even more is that you can be the biggest bust in NFL history next to Ryan Leaf and still be worth $4 million. I'm doing it wrong.
I wonder, was that before there was a limit on how much you could pay quarterbacks?
I think so. I think so because he would have probably got a $200 million. You thought Patrick Mahomes got paid? They would have given Jamarcus Russell the keys to Oakland. Next, folks, let's do what we came here to do, okay? We are here to break down games. That's what we do. We're here to pick winners. 2-1 last night. On Thursdays, we pick against the spreads. On Sundays, we pick straight winners here at World of Matchups. Last week's record was 10-5. Not bad. Back to double digits. That's what we do. That's what we're supposed to do every single week. If we're going to be the information superhighway that is World of Matchups, nothing less than double-digit winners will do, in my mind and in Spencer's mind. 99-65-1 on the season, on the bye this week. The Arizona Cardinals and the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's talk about the early games. Falcons at Jaguars. What a horrible game to have to break down. The Falcons are basically dead men walking, but they're still better than Jacksonville, right? Right?
No, I'm not sure about that one. I don't know if that checks out.
I don't know. I'm only taking the Falcons here because of Cordarrelle Patterson. Hopefully he'll be back in action after practicing this week. Hopefully. The Falcons can only go up after back-to-back beatdowns. Matt Ryan will be good enough to get Kyle Pitts involved, and that should be the edge they need to win. James Robinson, Trevor Lawrence, they should do just enough to lose. I'm starting to question how good Trevor Lawrence is. I really am. I was so high on him coming out of the NFL draft, and he has not shown me a thing.
Fraud alert. That's crazy. You're already stamping you're stamping it down, huh?
Well, when you look at what Mac Jones is doing, you know what I mean? And you look at even what a guy like Justin Fields has done. And then you look at what Trevor Lawrence is. Now,
Wow.
I get that he's surrounded by Urban Meyer, and no one. I get that. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, I bet a guy that he'd have 25 touchdown passes this year. You know what I mean? So I'm high on the guy, but he's done nothing. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. And I know it's Jacksonville. At this point, they should really be trying to just lose. But even Peyton Manning was serviceable in his first year. I mean, I know he threw like 30 interceptions, but he still had like 26 touchdowns. This guy's got like 3 touchdowns. What is his numbers? Can you pull his numbers? Throw those numbers on the screen if you can get them up. The pick there is definitely going to be the Falcons, folks. Falcons are going to bounce back in a big way. Next, Jets at Texans. So I took a chance on the Jets last week, and I got played. You know, I was in it for a minute, and I was in it to win it, but the Jets, they're the Jets, okay? Never again. I'm sorry, Peter Drago, I'm sorry. Never again. This will be the Tyrod Taylor show on Sunday. He's better than people think, and the Houston Texans are coming off a huge win versus Tennessee, and they're going to be fired up to win 2 straight. Rex Burkhead, Brandon Cooks, they've been serviceable so far, and the Houston defense will take advantage of a rusty Zach Wilson here. Jet fans want the Jets to lose to acquire more talent via the NFL draft. That's never really helped them in the past, but I get where they're coming from. This one's going to be close because the Jets do have an emerging star in Elijah Moore, but I won't ever take them 2 weeks straight. Ever. The pick, the Houston Texans. Next. Fly, Eagles, fly at New York Giants. 2 teams going in 2 different directions. As I type this, I feel compelled to buy a plane ticket back home. That's how I was feeling when I was typing this up and getting this ready. Purchase a couple gallons of gasoline and a blowtorch and drive by the Meadowlands to put an end to the misery that has been the New York Football Giants. Just burn it down.
Not about money. It's about sending a message.
Firing Jason Garrett was a joke. As the entire front office, they need to be wiped from the face of the earth. They are terrible. Remove them all. I'm done with Daniel Jones. Spencer's done with Daniel Jones. Folks, Danny Dimes never really even existed. Okay? The media, us, the pundits, we tried to will that into existence. He's been terrible. He threw an egregious interception versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday. I mean, he threw it right to the defender. Okay? He was the wrong pick. It was absolutely comical, that interception. Okay? It sucks, too, because, there's talent on the Giants. But Saquon Barkley can't do it all. And I think Saquon Barkley is eventually going to leave the Giants. I really, really do. The Eagles, they're ascending. This is a team to watch. They got an easy schedule, and they're starting to play well. Jalen Hurts is matching the kind of numbers that Lamar Jackson had his first 25 games. That should tell you all you need to know about how good he's been playing all of a sudden. Okay? Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, and company, they should roll here. All right? The Giants are a wounded animal. The Eagles' defense is also turning the corner, and Nick Sirianni is quietly making his case to be retained as the Eagles' head coach moving forward. The Giants are hopeless. The Eagles are starting to run the ball. They're starting to play better defense, and their schedule is soft. The pick here is the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. Next, Steelers at the Bengals. The Steelers came all the way back Sunday night only to lose a heartbreaker. Boy, that was a really good game. Did you watch that game, right, Spencer?
Oh, that was a fantastic game. Maybe the best game of the season.
Yeah, marquee matchups this year under the lights. Sunday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Monday Night Football. We got to give the NFL props. For the most part, they've gotten it right. There's been a couple dumpster fires in there, but they've gotten it right, and Sunday night was really, really a good game. I do think the Steelers dropped 2 in a row here, though, as they head to Cincy in what's going to be really great game. The Steelers have dominated the Bengals for years, okay? It's time for the Bengals to fight back. The script is about to get flipped. Expect a huge dose of Joe Mixon here, who's having a great year and staying healthy quietly, really quietly. There's a couple players in the NFL that are blowing up quietly. Mixon's one of them. We just talked about Kirk Cousins. He's another one. No one's talking about these guys. These guys should be in, the MVP discussion, okay? Joe Burrow's young, hungry, and he's out to show Big Ben that his time in the NFL is about over. The Steelers have Najee Harris, Claypool, and Deontay Johnson, but their defense is going to be their undoing in this one. The Bengals will make a stand late in the game that will ice it. The Bengals are for real, folks. The Bengals are going to host a playoff game potentially. The pick here is who day. Take the Bengals and take them with confidence. I don't like the Steelers on the road anywhere. Next. This could have been our game of the week. This is a good one. Buccaneers at the Colts. The Bucs took care of business as they should have versus the Giants. It's just that simple. They needed to steamroll that team. We knew the Bucs weren't losing 3 in a row. It's Tom Brady, okay? The test will be much more difficult. Without Vita Vea, expect them to have a harder time slowing down the NFL's best runner in Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is amazing. Jonathan Taylor is a mammoth. He is so good. I do think Tampa Bay will make this a hard game to win. However, Indy does have the personnel to win this game, and I think they will. Michael Pittman is great. I think he's going to dominate that secondary. Sean Murphy-Bunting is going to be on him. I think he's going to roast that kid. Okay, Tampa's Achilles heel is their secondary. The Indy defense will get after Brady, slow down the run game. Both teams won in a big way in Week 11, so I'm taking the home team to squeeze out a late victory. Wentz will do okay. They're going to run the ball to death, and Wentz just needs to protect that football. Indy will upset. I'm telling you. Key matchups. Indy's O-line versus Tampa's D-line. No Antonio Brown. Gronk is always 50-50. They're just saving Gronk for the playoffs. I could see Indianapolis taking this game, and so I'm taking them. The pick, the Colts. Next, Panthers at Dolphins. Panthers came crashing back to earth last week, after a loss to the lowly Washington football team. The Dolphins are playing better lately, and after wins versus Baltimore and the Jets, they now come home rejuvenated, and I think that win streak continues. Okay? Tua has been good, and the pressure's off him. All the Deshaun Watson talks have stopped, and now Tua is allowed to be Tua. Jalen Waddle is very underrated. No one's talking about Jalen Waddle. Waddle's having a nice year for Miami Dolphins. Okay? And the Miami defense is going to slow down Cam and CMC because they can, and they're home, and they're well-rested. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, they're going to have a hard time versus that Miami secondary. If Miami can move the ball on the ground with their running backs, they will win this game in convincing fashion. Player to watch is Myles Gaskin. They don't use this guy right. Let this guy run the ball 25 times. Throw some screens to this guy. Miami will win this game easily. The pick, the Dolphins. Don't get gassed by all this Cam Newton stuff. Okay? Cam was a thing. Cam is there to sell tickets now. The only person Cam benefits being back is McCaffrey. It won't be enough on the road. All right, those are the early games. We're going to take a commercial break, folks. When we come back, we will talk about the late games. Hang in there with us. My name is Dexter Reed. You're watching World of Matchups. See you on the flip. Heroes Heating and Air of Medford, Oregon. Folks, Heroes Heating and Air is a family-owned and locally operated business in the Rogue Valley. They provide real hero discounts for all first responders and veterans. Heroes Heating and Air is Southern Oregon's only Rheem Pro partner, and they sell quality home comfort. These are friends of mine. These are good people, and they are doing a great business in the Valley. Call them at 541-821-1615 for all your service needs, or check them out online at heroesheatingandair.com. Welcome back to the show. Our Player to Watch segment this week is sponsored by Insurance Lounge. Finding an insurance plan that is right for you and your budget can be challenging. However, the team at Insurance Lounge makes it easy. Insurance Lounge offers great plans in all major insurance categories, and as a company, they are committed to bringing simplicity back to insurance. Their focus is on technology and how it can make the insurance plan shopping and buying experience efficient, fun, convenient, and personalized. As insurance is one of the most important things you can buy to help ensure the safety and protection of yourself, your family, and your assets, they know that you have a lot on your mind when it comes to selecting a policy. At Insurance Lounge, they will compare rates across numerous insurance providers and find the best rate and coverage for you. Get a quote today in the most convenient way for you, whether in person, online, or calling our team at 866-459-2166. InsuranceLounge.com. Check it out. This week's Insurance Lounge Player to Watch breakdown. This week's Player to Watch is going to be number 11 of the Dallas Cowboys, an ascending player and a monster in his own right, the Penn State Punisher, Mr. Micah Parsons. Folks, it's been a while since the National Football League has seen a rookie come into the league and do what Micah Parsons is doing. This is a guy that you need to know when he's on the field, where he's on the field at all times. He is now setting the rookie record for sacks for the Dallas Cowboys. He has 9. He's got tackles for loss on pretty much every other play. The guy's always in the backfield. He commands a double team, and he is only getting better and better. Dallas got it right with this guy. He's rejuvenating their defense, and he is reinventing how the linebacker position is being played. My friend Scott, the Deacon of Dallas, says you see a little bit of Lawrence Taylor in this guy. And I have to be honest, after looking at his tape, and I went back and looked at his college film, the truth is that it's been a while since we've seen a player that's garnered so much attention. And you opposing offensive lines aren't chipping, and you need to. This guy was all over the Kansas City Chiefs field. He ran Mahomes down, Mahomes only runs a 4.8, but the closing that he did was so fast. I was like, wow, even surprised me. 6'3", 248. This is a guy who we really need to watch his career with a level of enthusiasm not seen from a defensive player in quite a while. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of World of Matchups, Spencer the Wiz, we bring to you this week's Insurance Lounge player to watch, Mr. Micah Parsons. Time for the late games. Let's talk about the Chargers at the Broncos. The Broncos are home, and they're coming off their bye week. They should be ready to face a division rival in L.A. Now, L.A. has tons of firepower, as witnessed on Sunday Night Football. Justin Herbert heard I was about to break up with him, and he got his act together. Justin Herbert is now entering the chat of the Tom Brady's and the Mahomes of, like, if you have this quarterback on the field, you're never out of a game. He's slowly entering that stratosphere, okay? And you saw it on Sunday.
He was throwing rocks at the second, floor of your house, and he had a boombox over his head trying to get you back. That's what Justin Herbert did last week.
Justin Herbert, I'm telling you.
All my instincts, they return. The grand facade.
I was really kind of starting to get down on him, and he showed up in a big way and won that game. He is a franchise quarterback. This guy deserves every penny they give him, okay? And now I heard he's lifting weights. Oh, boy. He's going to be the best player on the field on Sunday. The Broncos, they're going to do what they do. They're going to try to establish the run with Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams, but they will need to throw to win, which we all know that they cannot do with Teddy Bridgewater, okay? L.A. simply has too many weapons. They just do. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and the cheat code extraordinaire, Mr. Austin Eckler, they're going to run crazy, okay? Denver, they'll put up a fight. They're home. That's what they're supposed to do. They're coming off a bye. It's an AFC West matchup. But I think the Chargers, they're just simply better, okay? They're looking to stay atop the AFC East with the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to come down to being a two-team race, I believe. And my pick is the Chargers here. I really like them on Sunday. You know, when a team like Denver blows out Dallas, they do stuff like that on the road. They never do that stuff at home. Take the Chargers. Next, Vikings at 49ers. I called the Niners out 2 weeks ago, and they have responded in a big way, okay? Nick Bosa, another quietly having an amazing season, comeback player of the year type guy, all right? He's a one-man wrecking crew. He's having a better season than his brother right now, okay? Jimmy G, Debo, they're going to do what they do. George Kittle's going to be looking to blow somebody up, all right? Having him back is huge for that team. He's like the heartbeat of the Niners. Now, Dalvin Cook, Jefferson, Thielen, these guys are no slouches. These are all really great players. And somebody needs to put some respect on the name of Kirk Cousins. We were just talking about that. Kirk Cousins is quietly having an NFL MVP season. Look, I just think the home team will prevail here, and they're going to win by the narrowest margin. We've seen this year the Vikings win these games on the road. I just think that the Niners are starting to feel good about themselves after a really rough start, and this is the type of team that they beat in their building. The pick is going to be the San Francisco 49ers. Next, the Rams at the Packers. Look, I think the Rams are in trouble here. I do. I think the Rams may have peaked early. I still like them. I still like them a lot, but boy, the matchups they're getting here really don't favor them. They played poorly the last couple weeks, and now they head to the frozen tundra of Green Bay, and they're off their bye to face a team right now who lost a really tough game at Minnesota, which I called. in Week 11. Aaron Rodgers is going to be fired up in a hotly contested game, okay? Stafford to Cup will obviously be a thing. They'll be the focus. They're going to try to mix in OBJ, Devontae Adams, and A.J. Dillon. They're going to do what they do. They'll be difference makers in this game for sure, though. The Rams are going to keep it close, but this game reminds me of last year's game in the playoffs when the Rams went there, and they kind of just kept it close. They kept hanging around, and eventually Green Bay just pulled away late. Okay, A-Rod simply won't be denied. I know he's got a fractured toe. It won't matter. They're going to tape that foot up. They're going to shoot that foot up. He's going to be out there throwing darts. That's what he does, okay? Green Bay's defense is going to have to play that high-powered offense of the Rams really, really well, and keep your eye on Aaron Donald, how that offensive line plays him. They're going to have to double this guy. I mean, he's quietly not really having an Aaron Donald-type year, but he's still the best defensive player in the National Football League, okay? Now, Green Bay is my best bet this week. They are my best bet. I think they roll here. I really do. The rumor mill has it that Aaron Jones may suit up as well, which if he does, that's just even more firepower for the Packers. And it's cold. My pick here is the Packers. Put the whole roll on it. Put the whole roll on it. Let's go. Next, Sunday Night Football. Browns at the Ravens. Boy, things are getting messy in Cleveland. Did you hear how, like, Baker Mayfield is just going after it with the fans? And man.
Baker, what did you make of some of the booing there in the second half from the fans?
Those are probably the same fans that won't be quiet while we're on offense and trying to operate, so don't really care.
It's starting to get ugly. It really is starting to get ugly in Cleveland. But while he is hurt all over, he's going to be out there and he's going to play. Baker Mayfield wants this contract. He can taste those commas in that dollar sign. He can. Kareem Hunt is designated to return from IR, and Nick Chubb's healthy again. Most people will like Lamar Jackson and the Ravens here. I don't. I really don't. Despite Cleveland and the dramatics right now, I am going to pick them simply because I have seen Baltimore lay these kind of eggs at home before versus teams that can run. This is a division game that means a lot for the standings moving forward. Dude is always sick. Lamar is always sick. And his illness they have me kind of concerned. Now, he's back at practice this week, but there's just something about that I don't like. Marquise Brown has been hurt. They haven't been stretching the field. They haven't been throwing a lot of balls down the field. They're not scoring a ton of points. And that lack of a true running game has me thinking Cleveland in the upset. Kevin Stefanski is a good coach and will force Baltimore to stop the run, which I am not so sure that they can. Believe it or not, my pick this week is going to be the Dog Pound and the Cleveland Browns. Next, a horrible Monday night game. I'm telling you right now, guys, find something else to do Monday night. I probably won't even watch the game. Okay? Seahawks at the Washington football team. My goodness. I'd like to know who thought this would be a good primetime matchup, okay? Whoever did needs to eat an anthrax sandwich because this is horrible. These two teams are terrible. Now, Seattle is horrid, and if I'm Russell Wilson, this is my last year in Seattle. Or this is Pete Carroll's last year in Seattle. One of us has got to go. We cannot coexist. It's obvious, okay? It's one or the other. Coach is consistently wasting good players like Metcalf and Lockett by running plays that don't fit their skill set. Chris Carson, yet again, is out for the year. Shocker. And his backups are nothing special. This is a lost season for Seattle. Now, Washington football team is on a 2-game winning streak, and it's going to be 3 here. Gibson and McLaurin, they've both been banged up all year long, but they're going to be a thing here. They're going to be productive, okay? Because Seattle's defense is beyond overrated. Jamal Adams is the most overrated player in the whole league. I will never back off that. Taylor Heineke will make enough plays with his arm and with his legs to win a close game. Logan Thomas is also designated to return from IR, and that gives them another big body, another guy that can score touchdowns. All of it adds up to a dub. Take the Washington football team in a close game. The pick is the Hogs. Folks, before we go into our player of the week, we're going to tease our special guest, a man who has been on this show before, a man that knows football, Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. AG Magic on the other side will be coming back with me to break down this week's game of the week. The touchdown Tennessee Titans visiting Foxborough at the New England Patriots, Mac Jones and Bill Belichick. My name is Dexter Reed. You've been watching World of Matchups. See you on the flip. Welcome back to the program, everyone. Before we venture into our Game of the Week and special guest, we must welcome in our Game of the Week sponsor for the entire season, Stacey Harrison of Felony Fitness. Folks, Felony Fitness isn't for the faint of heart. Felony Fitness promotes solely the 4 F's: no fear, no forgiveness, no failure, and no false hopes. Those who say whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, be patient because they are coming back around to finish the job. Felony Fitness now, Felony Fitness forever. All right, folks, it's that time of this show where we feature our Game of the Week and special guests. This week's Game of the Week, 2 teams that are going for the AFC crown right now. The very hot New England Patriots are hosting the Tennessee Touchdown Titans in what should be a very interesting game. And to help break that down, I've welcomed in my good friend and third time on World of Matches show, Mr. AG Magic, Alex Ganem. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome him to the show. Welcome back, bro. What's happening?
Thanks, Dexter. Just hanging out and watching all these upsets go down in the NFL.
Yeah, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. It's the Black Friday World of Matchups, and we got a good Sunday of football coming up. So let's talk about this matchup first of all. It's very interesting to see what is happening with Mac Jones. A lot of people were like, I don't know about this Mac Jones guy. What does Bill see in him? I mean, they cut Cam. Is he really going to be that good? Dude, Mac Jones has 7 wins, and all other rookie quarterbacks combined, I think, have 5. Why is he thriving so well under Bill Belichick right now in New England?
Well, he's just simply well coached. Bill Belichick, as we know, is probably the greatest coach of our time. Yeah. He is well coached. His mechanics are well coached. And if you watch the New England Patriots offense, especially the last 4 or 5 weeks, they have a lot of intermediate passes for him to make him comfortable. He's not really throwing down the field all that often. He's an accurate passer. The mechanics are being taught well to him, and he is just thriving in this offense. He is a well-coached quarterback, and I see nothing but an upward trend for him.
It's interesting to me, and I sent Spencer a picture. At some point, Spencer, if you can pull up that comparison between him and Brady, that would be great. Him and Tom Brady along the same lines at this point in their career. Mac Jones is having a better start than Tom Brady. It's unbelievable to think that they're really not missing a beat. I think right now when you think about the best coaches in the NFL, it has to start with Bill Belichick. Now, in come the Titans, who are kind of like Dallas. They're wounded bad. They've lost their running back. They've waived Adrian Peterson. They're in trouble here, and I think they run into a buzzsaw. Why? Because Bill leads with defense. The Patriots' defense has been unbelievable this year, and it would not surprise me at this point if Foxborough is hosting a playoff game with a bye. Your thoughts on that?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here down the stretch. I was looking up some stats. They're both, top 15 offense, surprisingly, even with all the injuries Tennessee has had. New England is a top 5 defense. This one stat that stands out is New England has not played well at home. They're 2-4 at home. And the Tennessee Titans have played a lot better on the road than they have at home. They're, I believe, 4-1. Now, the Titans are such a bipolar team. Mm-hmm. They take care of the teams that they're not slated to win. They're underdogs. They come into some of these games as an underdog, and they take care of business. When they're supposed to beat the teams like the Houston Texans, what happens? They get
Jets.
So the Jets, the Texans, these are inexcusable.
Yeah.
Mike Vrabel is coming back to New England. I think this is going to be a closer game than most people think. Whether A.J. Brown is playing or not, we know that the Adrian Peterson experiment ended rather quickly. The Patriots have a lot of questionable players on their injury reports. Whether that's going to matter or not, I know Jonnu Smith, both Hunter Henry are questionable for the weekend. They got a couple key defensive players that are questionable. Either way, I see this being a much closer game despite the injuries on both sides of the ball.
I see it being closer, too. If I was betting, I would take the Titans and the points. I just think the New England defense is all world. Guys like J.C. Jackson don't get enough credit. I mean, A.J. Brown's been out with a chest injury now. He hasn't practiced all week. Even if they play him, they're going to shut him down. I mean, who else do they have? Deonta Foreman scares no one. I think Bill is going to run the wheels off Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson, and they're going to score a really, really boring win in Foxborough. This is how they like to. This is how they like to play. But see, if you win with a huge amount of stats like Kansas City, or you win with like little to no stats in New England, it's still a win. And I think Bill Belichick has understood that we're going to win ugly and still try to win a Super Bowl. And so far, it's really worked. Outside of that 56-yarder, he asked Folk to kick in the rain versus Tampa, which was a mistake because they should have put the hands in Mac Jones' hands. He played well enough to try to go get that win. He's been flawless. And I think that they beat the Titans in a 3 or 4 point win this weekend.
And this is a huge game. The Titans are 8-3 right now. The Patriots are a game back at 7-4.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever wins this game could possibly be sitting at the number 1 seed and have that home field bye.
Yeah, let me tell you,
it's a huge game.
The race for the number 1 seed in the AFC right now is what everybody needs to be watching in the NFL. The Bills, the Chiefs are now back. I don't think the Chiefs ever left. They just stopped shooting themselves in the foot. The Patriots are making a name for themselves. Imagine if Derrick Henry is a quick healer and he comes back. The Titans are vying. Whoever gets that number 1 seed, I think, is coming out of the AFC. And it's going to be a coveted piece to have. That week off while everyone else has to beat themselves up to get to that next round is massive. So we're both in agreement. We think that the Patriots win, but we don't think they roll. Take the Titans and the points if you're a betting man. Last time we came on, your Eagles weren't doing that good. We're going to take a second and give them their flowers because we here at World of Matchups, when we're wrong, we like to say we're wrong, and we like to give people an opportunity to talk about their squad, especially when they're ascending. And I think right now, the Eagles have a really easy schedule down the stretch. They're getting right at the right time, and Sirianni's finally recognized that if I actually run the ball, I can give my quarterback a chance to win here. What's your take on your team right now moving forward?
You know, I'm really surprised in a great way that Nick Sirianni has adjusted and started to run the ball. Yeah. He sees the good things that come with running the ball. He's been consistent. A lot of that success has been, of course, because of our offensive line. Jordan Mailata, who I've always talked about, is shining. He's graded high on Pro Football Focus. And another surprise, Landon Dickerson, our 2nd-round draft pick. This guy was slated to be a first-round pick. He had some injuries in college, and he is having a great season right now as a rookie. Yeah. So those things coupled with good coaching, they're continuing to run the ball. Jalen Hurts is a dual-threat quarterback.
He's good,
Continue to mix it up.
He's good.
Yep.
He's good.
And he has surprised me. The one thing about Jalen Hurts is his work ethic. I don't want to say it's Kobe-esque, but this guy works hard. He lives in the film room. He strives on not making the same mistake twice. They're playing well. The defense is playing well. I said it before. Darius Slay is having the best season of his career. With the linebackers are playing well. TJ Edwards just got an extension because of his good play. Howie Roseman rewarded him. Davion Taylor, who is a super fast linebacker, was playing well until he went down with a knee injury. I don't know who's going to replace him. That actually worries me a little bit. Other than that, collectively, this team is hitting on all strides. And if they can continue to run the ball, do some play action passing, they will continue to have success, especially with that soft schedule they have.
Yeah,
coming.
they have the easiest schedule going forward for the rest of the season. I mean, they should murder the Giants. The Giants are on their last legs. The Eagles need to put them out of their misery. I definitely like Hurts a lot, and I like what Sirianni has done to, Mark McMillan was on the show a couple weeks ago, and he was at the KC Philadelphia game. He said everybody in the stands was just screaming at Sirianni, run the football. You know what I mean? Just like, why is Jalen Hurts throwing 50 times? That should never happen. You know what I mean? And since they've done that, I gotta be honest, man. The Eagles been showing some life, and so I know you're happy, and it's good to see. So we definitely wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about your squad. Before we go, we want to give you an opportunity to talk about your other business, folks. AG Magic is a man of the people, an entrepreneur, but this guy's got so many pots on the stove boiling that it's not even funny. And we want to take a second to highlight his handicapping side of things and what he's been doing. Let's talk about like the last, I'd say, 2 or 3 months, you in the NFL as far as you picking winners.
Yeah, I've been a solid 82%. I just did the calculation, and that would rank, in the top tier amongst handicappers in the country right now. So obviously I'm not pro, but I'm working my way to get there. And folks, if you're looking to make a side income or a residual income, even, an extra 2,000 to 4,000 a month, I can help you get there with the strategies I have and with the winning formula I have. I've proven to show that you can make some income betting. It's all about timing and strategy with betting. A lot of people kind of just misunderstand. They put a bunch of teams on a teaser and hope for the best. If you listen to my strategies, you can make a great income. I have been betting for 10 plus years and have always ended the season in the green with lots and lots of money. So folks, if you want, you can reach me at 702-786-4553, and I will give you for free the Titans and Patriots pick. I will give you the points and the over-under total for free.
There it is, folks. You heard it straight from the horse's mouth. AG Magic showing his balls right there. Okay? Listen, bro, as always, man, we appreciate you coming on the show, and we appreciate you helping us break these games, and we appreciate all the things that you do for World of Matchups, helping us try to grow it and blow up the way you have, and we look forward to having you on in the future. We like the Eagles here this week at World of Matchups, and I think the Giants are done. My goodness, I mean, how bad are the Giants?
They're finished.
Fire everyone now,
man.
Just start over. Just do it boy, New York. I'm from New York. New York football is as bad as it gets, and it's sad to watch. I grew up watching those Giants teams in '86 and in 1990. Dude, those were great teams. How far they have fallen is unbelievable. Sometimes I think you just got to light a match and watch it burn, and I think that's what they need to do. Anyway, that's how I want to end this breakdown. We love you, man. Thanks for coming on. We look forward to having you, and we'll talk to you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. AG Magic. Give him a round of applause.
Always
a
pleasure.
Talk to you soon, bro. Later.
All
right, folks. That's it for this show. But we'd be remiss if we did not go over our picks for the week. World of Matchups is taking the Atlanta Falcons, the Houston Texans, the New England Patriots, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Indianapolis Colts, the Miami Dolphins, the Los Angeles/San Diego Superchargers, the Green Bay Packers, the San Francisco 49ers, the Cleveland Browns, and the Washington Football Team. Like we mentioned earlier in the show, we're everywhere on social media. Don't play yourself by not knowing where we're at. Hit us up, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube page. Like and subscribe. And as always, you can go to grabit.com, create an account. It is free, and find all our content there. Grab it. If Netflix and YouTube had a baby, it'd be grabit.com. We have all types of amazing content on that page. Check us out, give us a like, watch us roll, and hit us up, and we'll always be there for you with all the most pertinent information in the National Football League. Once again, my name is Dexter Reed, and I've been your host for World of Matchup. To my right, Spencer the Wiz. Remember, we have been bringing to you the most comprehensive and uncensored progressive information from the NFL to hit the big screen in the last year. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Grab It Television, you have been watching World of Matchups. Enjoy the game, everyone. Happy Black Friday.